Welcome, and thank you for tuning in today to the Human Training Your Dog is Begging For podcast. If you are needing help understanding your dog and their wacky behaviors, you've come to the right place. I'm Charles Countryman, co-founder of Canine Culture Dog Training here in Carrollton, Texas, basically Dallas, Texas area. And as always, we have senior trainer and head of dog evaluations, Wyatt. How are you doing, Wyatt?
Pretty good.
All right. So it's just going to be the two of us today. Julie and Laura have prior engagements with pups that they're working on. And our goal, as always, is helping people understand, their dog better, learn more about creating behaviors they'd like to see more, and hopefully learn how to replace some of those pesky behaviors with ones you would like to see a little more often, right? What?
Yes, it definitely would.
This is not a monologue. We're doing it together.
We're not doing a monologue.
All right. So what are we talking about today? Today we're talking about puppies. If you got a puppy, you're probably just like overwhelmed thinking, what in the hell did I just do? And why did I just do this to myself and my family and my sanity? The biggest reason everybody calls us when they get a puppy, potty training. Can you potty train my dog? Can you potty train my dog? If someone calls us and has a puppy, 9 out of 10 times, that's what they're asking us to do.
Yeah, or it's one of their problems they have.
Yeah, I mean, there's, a handful of other puppy issues, but they don't have a bad dog. They just have a dog that has no idea how to operate in their home.
Yep.
And, like we always tell everybody, if you have a puppy that needs potty training, we cannot do that for you. And if you're listening, that might shock you and go, God, why can't you potty train my puppy? Because your puppy doesn't live at my home. Your puppy doesn't live at our facility. So yeah, we will get your puppy to do really well with potty training here. And they're going to go back and do everything that they've been doing. Will it speed it up by a day or two? Yeah, by a day or two. But if you follow, so I'm going to walk through what I tell everybody. And we have a great blog article, too, on our blog, Canine Culture, k-9culture.com. Go to our blogs. It's an older blog. Great step-by-step article that I wrote on how to potty train your dog. So if you miss anything was unclear in what we're going to talk about, people should just go read that. Yeah. And between the two, you'll have perfect clarity.
It's like step-by-step. It's not hard.
It is not hard. I know, from a person's perspective, when they're constantly, picking up poo or stepping in poo, that'd be worse, or stepping in a wet spot. It is frustrating. But it is, swear to God, the easiest thing to train a dog, I think. And if you follow what I'm about to tell everybody, within 10 days, your puppy or grown dog, whichever one it is, it doesn't matter, they're potty trained. It's done. If it's a puppy, you might occasionally have an accident. But if you really are honest, you caused the accident. You didn't give them the access they needed to have that potty break, or you gave them water or food at the wrong time. It's usually always human error. So the main thing to remember with a puppy right off the bat is do not expect your puppy to hold their pee or poo all day long. If they are 8 weeks old, that makes them 2 months old. They can hold it for a max of 3 hours. Max. So here's a rule of thumb. And the rule of thumb is for every month a puppy is in age, you create a 1. So a 2-month-old puppy, there's 2. And then you add 1 to that number. That's the max that they can go without having to go potty. So a 4-month-old puppy, theoretically, should be able to go 5 hours. But actually, a 4-month-old puppy, if you have done this starting at 8 weeks, they should be potty trained. They should be able to hold it all day because you're going to follow the rest of our advice to set them up to be able to hold it all day. So that's rule number 1. Don't expect your puppy to hold it for 4 hours when they're 8 weeks. They physiologically cannot do that. Their body is not, they can't do it. So that would be unfair.
The bladder's the size of like a grape.
Yeah, that would be like, meeting someone and say, well, you should be able to run a marathon. You're only 200 pounds. Well, if they don't run at all, they can't run a marathon.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to die at 2 miles. So
Yeah.
they ain't going to make it 26 miles. Uh, so the first rule, what we're looking, for people to do is train the bladder to get bigger, right?
Yep. It's like a muscle. You got to
Yep.
work it
It's
out.
a muscle. We got to teach it how to get bigger and how to expand. Obviously, as the puppy grows, that's going to increase the size of the organ as well. But we're teaching them how to hold it, and by doing that, we're increasing the size of the bladder. All right, so someone's got a 2-month-old puppy. What's number one?
Number one, first thing I always ask everybody is, do you just free feed water and food?
Correct. Do you free feed your food and water to your puppy?
And usually they say yes, especially if they're first time dog
And then you want to
owners.
smack them.
In the face. Literally
The person, not the dog.
one of the worst things you can do. Like my street dog I had, Mr. Pickles, he would chug water till he puked.
Till he puked.
And then he would drink up all the puke water. And then he'd pee every 15 minutes. He'd go out and pee, come back in and chug more water. He'd refill his bladder again and again. It was not a fun experience for the first week.
And clearly, because I know Pickles, he is not a thirsty dog. There are some dogs that are what we call gulpers. In fact, if we have a special placard that we'll put on the kennel to let anybody know that this dog is a gulper, because they will drink, like you just described. They'll drink so much, they'll vomit.
Yep.
They're not dehydrated.
No, not at all.
Chug water, and they'll chug it until they vomit water.
Yep.
It's crazy. So with those dogs, we give them a smaller bowl. We give them more water throughout the day, lots of littler bowls, so that way they can't drink so much that they vomit water.
Oh, I went so far as getting him a slow feeder for water.
For water, right?
He was slow. He grew out of it, but he was a street dog.
It was a while.
He clearly had a deficiency in water at some point in his life.
Yeah,
he had issues.
And that's a good point. Some dogs are because they didn't have access to it, but a lot of water gulpers that we've seen, that they never had that issue. They just gulp water.
It's just a weird thing in their brain for some reason.
They may always. So that's a great tip you just said. If you have a dog that still does that, use a slow feeder for a water bowl.
Yep.
They're still going to get all their water they need, but they got to work a little harder to get it and slow that gulping process.
Because it would inhale it like food. They'll just open their whole mouth and attack the water. It's ridiculous.
Most people do not have a water gulping dog, though, so luckily that's pretty uncommon. Yeah, so definitely first question I always ask too, how do you feed and water your pup? And it's amazing. Well, I give them a bowl of water and I leave it down all day. Well, that's why your dog pees all day.
But it's hot. That's a fine, but you still need to ration it to give yourself a chance to get them to go potty on time.
Yeah, you ration. So food, most people just feed their puppies 2 or 3 times a day, but every now and then we do get those people that say, yeah, let's put the food down, and when it's empty, I give them another bowl or whatever. And they're free feeding. You don't do that with your children. When it's dinner time, it's dinner time. You eat and we're done. Breakfast, same thing. All of our meals. We don't just throw food on the table and say, help yourself throughout the day. I'll keep the buffet full.
Yeah.
You don't. By doing that with your dog, it's basically creating a buffet. You have no value either, because the bowl is magical. It has nothing to do with you. This bowl is just always full of food. By feeding your dog twice a day, you are providing the food, and they really do understand that, because it's boom, it's eat time, and you give me the bowl of food. A puppy you could feed 3 times a day, but you really, we've always weaned our puppies, personal puppies, off of three meals a day pretty darn fast. That middle meal for lunch should just be a little one, a little snack to tide them over till dinner time. But pretty soon you want to get to twice a day. A lot of people just feed their dog once a day,
I do.
either in the morning or at night. There's a lot of science behind that. We feed our dogs twice a day. We feed them at 6 o'clock in the morning and basically at 6 o'clock at night. That's just our personal routine, with our work lifestyle and so forth. It doesn't have to be every 12 hours. It's just that's how it works for us. When do you feed your dog?
Once right before bed.
Right. What?
Yep.
Did you just say right before bed?
Yep.
Okay, everybody that just heard Wyatt do that, don't effing do that.
Well, I started off in
I mean, because most people that have a potty problem,
yes,
yeah,
agreed.
you are only going to
Yes.
make a potty problem out of what Wyatt just said to
Yes.
do.
I started off in the morning because it would give me time to actually walk him and get it out of his system throughout the day.
Right.
But once he mastered that, we were having problems with him still going in the kennel. So I started doing it right before bed to try and teach him to hold it.
Okay.
Because he really didn't want to go in the kennel. So that was the best way for me to teach him how to hold it in his body.
Right.
Because I can't walk him all the time.
Right. Of course.
And he was just okay with going pee every 15, 30 minutes. He wasn't, it was hard to get him to hold it in the kennel for some reason.
Yeah, there was something wrong with his bladder for a long time.
It was bad. Yeah. It was really hard to train.
Yeah, I mean, if he just sniffed water, he'd pee.
My goodness. Yeah.
Wyatt's dog Pickles was really difficult to potty train for pee.
And most people aren't going to get a dog off the streets. They go to some rescue.
Most people are never going to get a dog with Pickles problems.
Yeah.
He just literally had an issue with pee.
He
pee immediately.
It was horrendous.
All right, so first rule of thumb: control the input, you control the output. What goes in will come out. This simple math. You have a puppy. First thing in the morning, you get up. This should be your routine. You put them on a leash. If you live in a house or a condo or a townhome or whatever, if you have a backyard, don't let them out. Take them out. They're on a leash. You take them out to the backyard and you walk to the spot in your yard that you would like to train your dog to always consistently go potty in. So this serves two purposes. One, it's potty training your puppy or your grown dog if you're still having to work on that. But the other is now you're reducing the landmines you may step in your backyard, because now they're going to be kind of in a general area of where they go poo, and it makes picking up so much faster and easier, and they're not everywhere all over your yard. The big mistake everyone does, they throw their puppy or their dog outside, go potty, and then shut the door, and 15, 20 minutes later, I don't care, maybe it's 2 hours later, you let your dog back in. You have no idea whether they went or not.
Yep.
You're assuming they did.
And a big problem people run into is my puppy went outside
and then came back in
and peed right in front of the door.
As soon as he came back in, right? Yeah. And as soon as I do that, I laugh. I said, it's because your puppy did not go potty outside. Just because you let them out doesn't mean they go. In fact, if it's a puppy especially, or an adult dog that you just got because you don't know what their behaviors are, but a puppy especially, they get outside and forget.
Yeah,
they're
so
sniffing
excited.
this leaf. Oh, there's a squirrel. Oh my God, there's a pine cone. Oh, what's this? Everything is fascinating to them. They completely forget to go potty. They come back in. Oh crap, I gotta go pee, and then they squat and pee as soon as they come in.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do? You're gonna put your leash on your puppy or your dog. You're gonna say, "Let's go potty," and then take them outside. So now they start to learn, and they don't know what "let's go potty" means yet, but you'll always say that, "Let's go potty." And then you'll walk straight with no deviation, straight to the spot you're wanting them to go potty. And then you stop. They're on a 4-foot leash, not a 6-foot, not a flexi leash. This is not an enrichment walk. This is a potty training exercise. So a short 4-foot leash, and you get to that spot and you hold the end of the leash. You do not talk to your dog. You don't engage with the dog. You don't go goo goo. You're cute. No, this is potty training. The first couple of times you might want to take your cell phone with you.
That's why I tell everyone.
People are going to be bored.
Pull your phone out and be boring.
And it could be, the first couple of times your puppy or dog, either one, they don't know what you're doing. They don't know what's going on. It might take a half an hour before they finally go potty that first 1 or 2 times. You do not want to talk to them that entire time. Just sit there, get on your cell phone, look up what the weather's, whatever you do on your cell phone. Everybody's on it anyway. The reason I say cell phone is that way you have something to occupy your mind for potentially a half-hour wait.
Yep.
After about 20 minutes to 30 minutes max, all right, they're not going to go if they haven't gone. Then you say, let's go inside. And you turn around and you walk straight back inside. No playing, They didn't get a sniff. They didn't do what they needed to do, so there's no playtime. You just go, let's go back inside. And when you go inside, as soon as you walk in the door, you go kennel and put them in the kennel. You're not upset with them. They did nothing wrong. They just didn't do what you needed them to do. The reason you want to put them in a kennel, it has nothing to do with punishment. That's why you don't say bad or anything. They didn't do anything wrong. The problem is they're going to pee in your house now.
Yeah.
Because they're going to remember, oh God, I got to go and I forgot to go and I'll go now. So you have to limit their access to having that accident. You want to set them up to be successful. And the kennel needs to be fairly small. If it's too big, they'll go in the back of the kennel. So the kennel should just be big enough the dog can go in, turn around, be able to stand up. And when they lay down, they have a couple inches behind them, a couple inches in front of them, but that's it. If it's too big of a kennel, they will feel like they have enough room, right, to go potty.
Another trick you can do is if your dog just immediately goes pee in front of the door, pick them up.
Yeah, pick them
and
up.
walk straight to the kennel, put them in the kennel, and then when you take them out, you pick them back up again.
Yeah. If you're afraid, if someone's afraid that they're going to potty the moment they walk in the door, then when you get to the door, just pick them up, especially a puppy.
Yeah,
and
it's easy.
set them in the kennel and just say, good boy. This is not a punishment. It's a training tool. Now, shut the gate and go about doing what you got to do for about 15 minutes. Just give them 15 minutes in there. Walk back, open the kennel, make sure that they come out fairly calm. Don't get them all crazy. Oh, good boy, because you're also training good exit manners for coming out the kennel. You're always training. Put the leash back on them. Say, let's go potty. Walk right back out where you were. Don't say anything to them. Stand there, and they're probably going to go now. And now, when they start going, don't say when you're out there when people are out there on their leash. Don't be telling your dog to go potty. They don't know what it means. You're just saying marshmallows and asteroids. That doesn't mean anything to them.
Yep, and
they're just words. What you're looking for is when they start to commit. They get in the squat. They're about to pee, and when you see the pee starting to come, then whatever word you want to use to mark, that command, we just say go pee. I would say go pee. Good. Go pee. Good. And I would do that 3 times in a row while they're peeing, not before they pee. While they're peeing. Then when he's all done, I'm going to go, yes, good boy. And I'm going to be all excited. I'm going to run away and have them chase me a little bit. And I'm going to take the leash off and I'm going to play with them. And now I let them explore. You do not get to explore, go sniff, and go dog in the backyard until after you take care of business. So if they did poo, I'd do the same thing. We just say, go poo.
Yeah.
and our dogs will poo and pee on command. And that's how we taught them. So when they're actually in the act, I say, go poo, good, go poo, good. And I do that 3 times. When they're done, I make it a big deal. I make it an event. And then I play with them, and then they get to explore. Again, if they don't go, let's go inside. Walk right back in, put them in the crate just for 15 minutes. They start to learn, they don't know why the first time, obviously, but they start to associate after a couple repetitions of that. And then when they did go and they came in and didn't go in the crate, that's where the association occurs. Oh, I went and I don't go in the crate. Now they start putting these pieces together and realize if I go when I'm outside, I don't have to go in the crate. Oh, I get it. And I would always do this, take your pup to the same spot until they lead you to that spot to go potty.
Yep.
Now, you don't have to, because they've probably been potty trained before they're really grounded in that spot. But it's up to you. If you really want to train your dog to always go in the same spot in the yard, then I would do that until your dog's basically leading you to the spot. I'm not going to let them pull me, but I want them to basically guide me to the spot. Now I know, okay, they know where the potty spot is.
Yep.
But I always say, let's go potty. Here's why. Later, when they're potty trained, I just open the door and say, go potty. They know what to do. They run right over to that spot, go pee, and then they go do their dog stuff.
Especially if you're in a hurry and you're like, I got to go to work.
That's right.
I slept in. You can't go play in the yard for 30 minutes. You need to go to the bathroom right now because I'm about to leave you in a crate.
And that's perfect example of why you don't let them sniff, you don't let them explore, you walk right to the spot that you want them to go potty on a leash to make sure they're doing it, because sometimes we got to go to work. I need you to go right now because I don't have time to watch you sniff the squirrels for 3 hours. The other reason What if it's freaking cold out?
Or hot?
Or like Texas in the summer, it's 109. It's too hot to stand out there with my dog or leave my dog out there very long.
Or you live in an apartment complex and you don't have a backyard. That was the other problem.
Yeah, you don't have a backyard.
We didn't have a backyard.
You need all this to happen at a good pace. Or it's pouring rain.
Yeah.
There's lots of reasons that you want your dog to know the first thing we do is take care of business. Then we sniff and explore. If you don't set it up, then they'll think, well, I'll just get around to pottying later. And then even with a potty trained dog, they might have an accident in the house later because they didn't get in that habit of that's the first thing we do. And the reason I always say, let's go inside is because when my pup's in the backyard and I want them to come in, I say, inside, and boom, they just come running. So those are words I'm planting so they have meaning to them later. And the reason is too hot, it's colder than heck, it's raining. Yep. These are all important words later.
Well, the cool part about dog training in that aspect is it's very easy to train your dog how to do stuff. Like I tell my dogs to load up to get in the car.
Right.
And I do it every single time. And when I say load up, they stop what they're doing and they jump in their car.
Yeah, our dogs absolutely, we're the same way. Our dogs absolutely know how to get in the car. If I didn't say a command, if I open the back door of the pickup, they're jumping in. But yeah, we still say load up.
Yeah. Because every once in a while they're smelling the ground or they're doing something and they're just not paying that attention and just load up. Oh, I know what that word says. Just jump in the car.
Yeah, because we'll do the same. Where we live, we don't leash our dogs and we walk out to the cars. And they're sniffing a little bit on the way. And load up. That means disengage from what you're doing, get in the car because we're on our way.
Yep.
So go potty, go pee, go poo, whatever. You can use whatever word you want. So that's the process. If you do that first thing in the morning, and then when you come back in, now we need to give our dog water and food. So they get a bowl of water, they get a bowl of food. I'm going to give my dog about 10 minutes to eat. Whatever you didn't eat, I'm lifting it up and I'm putting it on the counter. There's very few dogs that won't get in this routine. Your dog might know, oh no, I need 3 hours to eat. Within a day or two, they're eating on a schedule. There's very few dogs that really do need to graze all day long. Very few. It's rare.
Very rare.
I guess I'm only mentioning it because, like anything, there's an exception to every rule. Yeah. That's why it's dangerous to watch dog training videos on YouTube if you're not a dog trainer, because that person might be showing you the exception to the rule.
Yep, you do not know.
Try it, and you get bit, or it never works, and you're like, "Oh, my dog's stupid." No, that was just a real weird way to teach something.
Every study saying electroshock therapy worked. They picked a 1 out of a million. It did.
It did.
The rest of us, it's ruining humans.
And then other people, let's start shocking humans or dogs. Yeah, whatever.
And that's literally what they did.
Yeah. God, you just threw me off.
Cherry picking. But
so food and water.
Food and water. You also want to be careful on, not saying you have to give your dog dry food or whatever you want to do. Just make sure whatever you're going to give your dog, be it toppers, food toppers, or wet food or raw diet, they're just willing to do it long term.
Yeah, be consistent. Because if you're constantly changing their food and their diet, they're going to process the food a little different, and they might have to go potty sooner or get diarrhea.
Yep.
That's just like a human. Sometimes that's really hard to control when you're going to do that.
I don't blame puppies or even older dogs when they have real bad diarrhea.
No,
I'm like, that's freebie. Sorry.
You just can't. Yeah, it's a freebie. You got to give it to them. And then just go clean it up, and that is what it is.
Because even the most well-trained dog at the end of the day is a dog.
Yeah.
And most time it's your own fault, but sometimes it's not, and it's nobody's fault. And
so they've eaten, they've drank. Now you pick it up and you look at the clock. Roughly 20 minutes later to 30 minutes max, you need to put the leash on your dog or your puppy, say, let's go potty, and repeat the steps I just went through. Walk them to where you're going to go. If you're in an apartment, take them to the spot that you've designated, and stop and do nothing until they go. That
right there is the hard part about puppy training. Is consistently making yourself.
That's why most people struggle for a long time. Is they're not consistent. They they got to go after they eat or drink. So that's why I pick it up. If they have free range to that water, I have no idea when that 20, 30-minute time it has elapsed and now they peed. That's on me. That's not my puppy. I'm setting my dog up to fail.
Yeah.
Now it's going to depend on what your time frame is. Are you at home? Are you not at home? Obviously, this is where it gets a little wonky, and you might need to talk to a trainer on getting a couple specific tips. But your crate's a great tool. If my dog is not potty trained, they do not have access to my house. Hell no.
No.
If they're destructive, they do not have access. Most people just give way too much access to their home for their puppy to handle responsibly.
And it's not dog abuse.
It's a crate.
It's a crate.
Sometimes you have to crate your animal, so you have to because God, I can't even think of a reason. But if they go to the vet and they have a procedure, they're going to go in a crate after the procedure until you come pick them up. They're not going to just run around the crate or run around the vet clinic. If your dog doesn't know how to go in a crate, that's going to be a really bad, horrific experience for your dog to all of a sudden at 7 years old find out what it's like to be in a crate.
Yep.
So all of our dogs are crate trained. We never use them because we don't need them. But if we pulled one out of our garage and said, here, jump in a crate, they're going to do it and go, okay, whatever.
Some dogs in very specific breeds that if you don't crate that puppy, it's going to destroy your house.
And maybe kill himself or swallow something. Now you have a $5,000 bill getting an object out of it.
The only reason Pickles has not had multiple surgeries is he's a bigger dog and can poop stuff out.
Yeah.
I have small children.
Pickles was a mess when we got him. He was a hot mess.
First 2 months, I have never thought about returning a dog. Not return, giving it to someone else.
Finding a better home or a better fit.
Very happy.
He was a challenging dog for a long period of time.
Well, I had small kids. I was in an apartment complex. It was bad on bad. I've remembered why. One of the big reasons I started feeding him at night is because I couldn't walk him that much throughout the day because I took him to work.
Right.
But I knew if I fed him right before bedtime, he would poop in the morning when I woke up.
He'd be ready to go.
And poop again when I got to work.
And just as an FYI, that typically is not what I would recommend.
No, and that's not what we tried first.
your dog is usually going to poop at night. But here's the key is you actually bring something up that I forgot. A lot of people say, well, my puppy won't go potty at night, but they go potty all day long. At night, that rule of 1 per month plus 1 for hours of how long your dog can hold it, it doesn't really apply because metabolism is on your side. Their metabolism, just like us, slows down at night, so they don't process things as fast. That's why your puppy should make it through the night a lot faster than they're completely potty trained because your metabolism is on your side. So you brought it back in, the food and water's down or up because you picked it up. And then you go about your life, you go about your business. The great time to start this is day 1. But on a weekend, you really want to be there on a weekend if you can't during the week because you work, and just be religious about it for 2 days. Be crazy.
The magic trick, because I am horrible at it. Set timers on your phone.
Yeah, just set a timer.
That's what I cheat. Yeah. If you know you're going to fail.
2 or 3 hours later, put a little water down. Let him drink. 20 minutes later, let's go potty. On the leash, out you go.
And it might sound, to clarify, the once a day thing, if I go for a big, long walk with my dog, I'm going to give him water.
Oh, of course.
You don't have to be religious. Yeah. Common sense is most important.
That's good to say, or someone's thinking, oh my God, he only waters his dog once a day. No, we still use common sense. So, and we want to encourage anyone listening to this to please use a little common sense.
But I do know if I give Pickles water within an hour, or not an hour, more like 3 or 4 now, I have to walk that dog or he's going to pee.
Yeah, he
100. He has no bladder control.
Yeah. And then, you'd lift the water back up because you want to keep them hydrated. Hopefully you've transitioned out of that noon meal, so it's no longer necessary. And then basically that's what you're going to do. You're going to give your dog access to water every 2 to 3 hours. And then 20 minutes later, 30 max, you're going to say, let's go potty, put them on a leash, take them to the spot, and make a big deal when they're doing it. Mark it when they're doing it, not before they do it. Bring them back in, say, let's go inside. You're going to repeat that all day, every 2 to 3 hours until they're good to go. Now, if you want to up your game, let's go potty. Take them to this back door or your front door, whatever door you're exiting. Have them sit. And then say good, and then open the door and go. Don't go with excitement. Now you're teaching your dog to offer a behavior before they go outside. They'll start associating that behavior with potty. So pretty soon you're going to find your dog, when they have to go potty, they're going to sit at the back door. oh, my dog must have to go potty. He's sitting at the back door.
Yep, I did that with bells too.
Yeah, and you could do that with bells. You could do it with a button. But my God, it's so much easier. Just teach your dog to sit instead of pushing a button or knocking some bells.
The problem is if your house is big.
Yeah, if you can't see your dog, then that could be an issue.
Because that was the problem with Pickles for a while. In the apartments, you go sit by the door. But if you weren't paying attention, where I had kids, I just
you were
wasn't.
distracted. Right.
You go, oh, I tried. I'm gonna go poop somewhere.
Yeah. So if that is an issue, then you can hang some bells from the door and teach them to hit them with their paw or their nose. Say good, give them a treat, and then take them outside. That would be bell training, or a push button, bell. Excuse me, that's plugged in near the back door.
And it's not hard. It's like everything with dog training. It's all about consistency and repetition.
And then you're going to do that every day. Same. Now it's mealtime at night. Same thing. Water, food. 20, 30 minutes later, out you go. Now the food and the water. I don't let, if my dog is still in the potty training phase, I do not let my dog eat or drink after 7 p.m. Nothing. We're done.
No.
My next 2 hours up until 9 o'clock is cleaning out their system before nighttime. I want to set them up to have a good night of no potty. 7 o'clock. Now, once your dog is thoroughly potty trained, this is going to vary dog by dog, but like our dogs, Wyatt, we have a bucket of water on the ground all day long if we're at work, and they have free range to that water, and it's because they've earned it. They don't go potty. If I came home and there was always piddles on the floor, okay, there's no water during the day. I'll give you plenty in the morning. I'll give you water all night, but
And that could be if you've got your potty trained dog, you got a doggy door. I know my kids are always in and out of the backyard, so the dogs go when they want to go with the kids. Not an issue. So we leave water down.
Yeah, and it's because your dogs are potty trained.
They're
so
potty
when your
trained
dog is
first.
Absolutely potty trained, and I consider my dog potty trained when there's no more accidents. For a long period of time.
But if I didn't have kids in and out of the backyard, and they were
Pickles,
getting walked, I would limit the
because
water.
Of Pickles.
Yeah, it's just weird.
That is potty training. If you do that consistently, follow that routine, within 10 days, your dog is potty trained. If they're not, you're not following that process.
Nope.
You're just not. You're skipping something. You're giving them a little longer access to the water. You're not marking something. You're letting them sniff when you go outside. You're skipping one of those steps, because to me, potty training is the easiest thing to train a dog to do, without a doubt. It's easier than sit to me.
Yeah.
Sit I can do faster, but I just find potty training easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah, just simple steps. The only hard part about potty training is you don't get that. It's like sit. That's why it goes fast.
It takes longer because we need more repetitions. So that's why it takes about a week to 10 days. Because, you can't sit. I can have them sit 12 times in 15 minutes. I can't have them pee 12 times in 15 minutes.
Yes.
I don't have enough repetitions.
I have the same problem with Pickles jumping on new people that come over. I'm like, he's a fully off-leash trained hiking dog.
Right.
I'm not that social. Especially
you just don't have enough visitors to practice that behavior.
Coming over. You
need to invite the Amazon guy in every time they come.
He loves that Amazon guy.
All right, so that's what you want to do with your dog. Now, after they're potty trained, they're done. How much water people give to their dog, and how long you give your dog to eat. That's up to people. Your dog will progress in how long they can hold it. But usually if your dog has an accident, someone's dog has an accident, they weren't paying attention, didn't take them out and give them an opportunity to go after they drank.
Yeah, and after like 8 months old, your dog can hold it.
Absolutely.
An entire day.
All day.
They definitely can. There's like Pickles is a weird exception, but all the other dogs ever owned.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, our dogs can hold it 10 to 11 hours. I feel guilty leaving them home 10 to 11 hours, but sometimes life is what life is.
Because that's why, you go work for 8 hours.
Right.
30-minute drive there, 30-minute drive back.
Or an hour.
An hour. Your dogs are going to be able to be in a crate for 10 hours. No one likes doing that, but that's just the nature of the business.
Yeah, the beautiful thing is, since our dogs don't have to be crated, they have free range of the house.
Yes.
They might be, I don't care what they do at my home. It's their home too. As long as you're not peeing, pooing, or destroying anything, chill out. Yeah. I wish I'd trade lives with them. Any day of the week. Leave me home 11 hours a day by myself.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, Pickles was kenneled for 9 months when he was ever left alone in that house.
Yeah,
and that is totally acceptable, especially because he's got a lot of husky in them.
Right.
A lot of these stick up ear breeds, I would much rather over crate my dog than underdo it. And we're dealing with destructive or
So
potty
you've really taught
problems
them the behavior
at like a
right.
year old, which is way too long.
Right. But he was older when you got him. So
yes.
Follow those steps. Again, if you need to read these steps, you could go. I'll put a link in the description of the podcast summary.
Yep.
I'll put a link to our blog article on that, how to potty train a puppy blog on our website. So if you are needing help with your puppy or your dog, we'd absolutely love to be part of the process and part of your guys' journey together so you can have a well-behaved, well-mannered dog that literally is a joy to live with, a joy to take places, a dog that people go, God, I wish my dog was like that. I love that.
It's so
I
nice.
love it when people say, I wish my dog could do that. It's like, yeah, well, I can help you.
Pickles' potty training journey. I'm like, I just don't worry about him anymore.
Yep.
It is
I just literally
so
don't even
nice.
think about it. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. K9 Culture Dog Training DFW is our handles there. And again, our website, k-9culture.com. And reach out to us. We'd love to be part of your process. Until then,
go have fun with your dog.
Super great. Would those be like the same steps if it was like a rescue adult dog?
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
exact same steps. The age has nothing to do with it.
I meant to bring that up. We ran out of time of this.
Well, I did mention adult dog a couple times because that's
And
why I
Pickles was
mentioned
already
it.
adult.
Yeah.
I should have said rescue.
I was gonna say, and that's the difference between a puppy and a mostly full-grown dog.
I would say the difference, Stephanie, is adult dog will go faster.
Yeah.
Realistically, the most rescues were at someone's house at some point and are mostly potty trained.
Yeah.
They just got to learn the rules apply in the new house.
Yeah.
Usually,
They just didn't have rules.
Pickles is
Yeah.
an exception because I got him from someone's backyard that found him like a month before I got him. It was weird.
I guess the only exception to that, and we didn't even attempt to change it, was Laura and I trained a dog together that graduated like 2 weeks ago. He was a stud dog for 2 years, so he lived in a kennel. Not a crate, but, I don't know.
A run.
I don't know, a 10 foot by 10 foot kennel. That was his entire life for 2 years. So he pooped and peed in his kennel here while he was in training because he just knew no better. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
But he never pooed or peed in the facility.
Guess we should have talked about that dog. You get a puppy and it pees and poops in its crate.
Yep.
Day one.
You have too big of a crate.
Well,
Downsize.
or the breeder.
Or, it depends on the age. Because, like, if I did ask the owners in that example, Stephanie, if they were ever going to leave their dog in a crate, for long-term period of day or something, they said no. If they had said yes, then we would have potty trained him for a kennel. But I knew since that was never going to be part of his life with them, who cares? We give him a bath every morning and clean the kennel. He only did it at night. He didn't do it during the day. It was just a weird thing because of how he spent the first 2 years of his life.
Right. So he was just like pooping and peeing freely in the kennel?
He'd just go once, one poo and one pee.
Oh, okay.
Sometime in the middle of the night. Yeah, but during the day, if he went back in the kennel because it was between sessions, he wouldn't go potty.
Oh, okay. And grass was confusing to the dog?
No, once we taught him to go, then he just thought that's where you go in the kennel. So yeah, I guess it was a little odd to him. It took a little while to.
That dog was like a 2-year-old dog with the brain of a 2-month-old dog.
He didn't even know how to look us in the eyes because he didn't have.
He didn't even know how to sit.
He didn't know how to sit. They thought they had a physical problem because he wouldn't sit. No, he just didn't know how. He didn't know how to dog.
No one even did the bare minimum basic puppy training.
English lab, super cool dog. He was fun to train. He was fun because now he wags his tail. He looks in the eyes. He's like living the best life now.
It's always the dogs you're like, I could understand if you weren't a nice dog because people kind of screwed you over. Those are always the nicest dogs. Dog fighting rescues.
He's actually one of the...
Because you helped them to get him to a point where what you described, he's enjoying life now and he understands what he can.
He's enjoying life. He knows how to enjoy life now. Yeah. That was very fulfilling.
Yeah.
And he's a great example of, here's a dog. He wasn't petrified of the world. He was just uncertain. He just did not know how to operate in the world.
Which is like a normal 3-4-month-old puppy.
Yeah, he was like a 3-4-month-old puppy, except he is 2 years old. Yeah.
Weird.
Well, no, because a 3-4-month-old puppy is curious about everything. He really wasn't
Yes.
curious about anything. He's like, no, I shouldn't wander over there. I've never seen a rock before. It might get me.
Do y'all train cats or no? Fully focused.
No. We do board them and groom them, but we do
Oh,
not
you
train.
can board them. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we just started doing that a couple weeks ago.